unlocking the secrets to mindful living
and stress relief. Isn't that what we all want, really?
It's a biggie, isn't it?
It is a biggie, yes.
To live a stress-free life.
I don't think
it's
possible to live a completely stress-free life, but I think it is possible to know how to, how to sort of handle stress.
How to manage it.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be talking about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
We are therapists and we are here to help you.
Yes. So if you do need any help or you have something that you want to talk to us about, please feel free to just send us a message and we'll have a chat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was feeling quite stressed out the other day and anxious.
Yeah.
Because my husband was having an operation, even though it was a minor thing.
Right,
but it was just making me feel out of sorts because my patterns were disrupted. So I was worried. I was concerned. And I thought, how can I cope with this? So I listened to this lovely mindful meditation by Louise Hay, who's no longer with us, but she was a wonderful lady who practiced gratitude, and it's very well known in our space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she was a great therapist. Yeah,
and it was amazing. It really did help me.
It did. I do think that is one of the. I think if we manage to start the day with some kind of mindfulness, I mean, even if it's just like what I did today when I did not touch my phone.
Oh, exactly.
I thought, no, I don't want to hear about everything that's going on. I don't want to read my emails yet. I don't really want to go straight into work mode at 7 a.m. So I just left it there, and I did that consciously. And I got up and I took a few deep breaths and I went into the bathroom. I did all my preparation for the day without reading anything. And then I did bring my phone down to breakfast, and then I turned it on. Like I actually during breakfast. But it made me feel more grounded to be able to do that without receiving, all these inquiries and everything that we get all the time. And I do think that is a very, very good tip. Is to start your day like that.
Yeah, because I think now with all this technology that we have, it means we're like always on.
Yes.
We never switch off. We're always so connected to everything and everyone.
Exactly.
But not always in a positive way, though.
No, if you start your day with this quiet reflection on how you're feeling. It just takes a few moments, but it's just, how am I feeling? Let me just stretch my ankles a little bit. Even while you're in the bed, you kind of start more naturally, slower rhythm. Even if you're in a rush, it doesn't matter, but you're not immediately connected to something that may cause you some form of anxiety, something to do with work or whatever it is that you're going to be bombarded with. Exactly. The chaos that's going on around us.
I also find that when I have like a tidy house, like if I declutter, like if my room,
that's another
if
great
I
tip.
tidy up,
yes,
and I make my bed,
yes,
I'm already empty the dishwasher. I'm already a lot happier. I feel a lot calmer.
Well, a tidy space does bring a sense of peace. It makes you feel more peaceful, and that's the reason why before I go to bed at night, I always want to tidy up the kitchen. I don't like leaving the dishes here and there.
I don't either.
No, I want it all to be like, I put the dishwasher on or I hand wash the dishes, whatever it is, but I want for the space to be peaceful, to be all, nice and tidy, so that the next morning I can start afresh without seeing that clutter.
I know.
And sometimes it can happen, but that's like 99% of the time. That's how I practice it.
Yeah,
I make sure things are
at
tidy.
The weekend, or when I have a moment as well, I might go in and just do a little bit of decluttering.
Yeah, that's a good idea. to declutter, to make
like
your...
If I open one of my wardrobes and things are falling out, like I've got this
things are falling out of mine as well.
In my office that I have to tackle.
Really,
and
yeah.
It's got stuff in it that's just stuffed in there. And it's like,
Me too.
when I see it, I think, no.
I can't handle it.
No, I can't handle this now because I'm too stressed or whatever. But I think you do need that moment of energy. But I think when you get it, you when you do it, then afterwards you feel so much better.
It is a good, yes, it's, you do feel better. Mm-hmm. You do feel better. And it's lovely for your mind to see that sort of lovely space of where it's not all cluttered. Mm. The clutter can cause anxiety. And stress. It can make you feel stressed, especially when you can't find things. Sometimes even just saying, okay, from now on, I'm going to get a bowl where I'm going to put my keys in it. I mean, this may sound so obvious, but do you know how many times, like my husband, he'll lose his keys, car keys, house keys, and I've just said, look, here is the bowl. Everything goes in there. Do not lose them. Stop leaving them around. And I mean, he's finally now decided to use that bowl, and it causes a lot less stress. Mm. And that's just by keeping things in, one place where it's there.
Yeah, like when things have a home.
You don't have to go into a frenzy trying to find it, especially when you're in a rush. That can cause anxiety. Yeah. Especially when you're always losing things as well. What are you looking at? You're laughing.
Because I mean, I didn't put my keys in the bowl
yesterday,
and I was looking for them, and then they ended up they were one of my handbags.
Yes.
Which I find also the fact that we change, ladies. We have all these different handbags, which are very fortunate and lovely, and we love our handbags, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
When
we're lucky we live in Italy, so we don't
have too many on the go, though.
Yeah, that's why I only use the brown one now. Exactly. At the moment, I'm just using that bigger version. This big brown one we got is really nice, actually, because it's like, I think it's locally made, isn't it? It's like Italian, nice. It's locally made. But it wasn't even that expensive, so it was nice. And it's got lots of pockets and things. And I find
sometimes it's got too many pockets.
Yeah, even that.
Stuff in there.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, you've got to know. You put your phone in the centre pocket.
I kind of learned to put my phone in the centre.
You have to learn. But yes, also that as well. If I know I'm going to change bags, like handbag for the next day, I'll prepare it in the evening.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah, and I put like everything in there already, the basic stuff, so that I don't have to have a frenzy, unless I'm really calm the next morning and I don't care.
If you're not in a hurry.
If you're not in a hurry, that's fine.
You've got the day off or something. But when you're in a hurry, I think
as a general tip, yes, it's very good.
In a hurry, a very good tip is to be prepared. So prepare your outfit. Declutter your kit.
What was I saying just today? I said, right, what outfit am I going to wear? Because tomorrow we've got a meeting with the lawyers. And I thought, what am I going to wear to the lawyers? I mean, I want to look smart and sort of like professional. Yeah. And so we were choosing an outfit already today.
Yes. And that's far away, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's not that far away. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, but people would say, what are you doing in the morning choosing something for tomorrow?
My husband would say that.
You'd say, are you nuts?
Yeah. A lot of the times before I actually sort of like when I'm just sort of in the morning slumber, I'll start thinking, what am I going to wear? What's the outfit? And I visualize it. Do you remember you were quite surprised when we went?
Good at that.
Yeah. When we go on our conferences together, before waking up, obviously I'm awake, but then I sort of decide, okay, I'll put that top with that skirt and that, and I figure it all out, and then I wake up, I actually get up and I've got it all sorted as well.
Yeah, and then you sort it for me as well, which makes
it easy. Because we wear the same outfit, so I do sort it, yeah. See it, say it, sort it. Reminds me of what they say on the underground in England.
Also, I think for part planning your day as well, it's like saying no to things that you don't want or don't need in your life.
That's another great tip. For a stress-free living, yes. It's definitely learn to say no.
Unapologetically. So don't think about it too much. Just say, no, I can't fit that in today.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Unapologetically, yeah.
Well, sorry, no, because you have to be polite, don't you?
Yes. It will prevent burnout, and it will give you, the time to say yes to what really matters.
And I think if you're the kind of person that always tends to want to do things for everybody, learning to say no and learning to just take a bit of a back seat, and then, because if you're always doing things for everyone as well, it takes away you're kind of robbing that other person of doing those things, aren't you?
Absolutely. Well, you're not giving them space to grow either, because, well, that's especially in the case of when you really like to be in control of absolutely everything at work, at home, and you say, no, I'll just do it. If you're always doing, like, for example, making the dinner, how do you know if the person you've got close to you might say, oh, I have a chance to have fun, prepare something. They might get creative, make you plate pasta you never heard of before.
But it does, because
it gives them a chance, doesn't it?
I was watching that series on Netflix where one of the 4 seasons, or the seasons, where one of the couples was quite, the lady in the couple, she was quite, I thought she was quite controlling. She always, and her husband had kind of become a bit useless.
Yes.
She was always doing everything for him, and he was always the one that was allowed to be like the one that was ill or slack, or she would, oh no, I'll do it quicker. But she was like taking away the opportunity for him to kind of like man up and do stuff. She was just doing everything.
Because she would say, that's how I do it.
That's what Mum used to say. That she used to say, the more you do, the less they do.
That was a big warning. That was like the general rule for, like, growing up with our mum. She would say, listen, this is a tip about men.
Your partner does.
Yes, I'm going to give you this tip. She would tell us, like, when we were 6 and 7, always repeat it. The more you do, the less they'll do. So just take a break, sit down and say you can't do it. Because I would say things like, Mum, but surely, we could paint the corridor. She always wanted the corridor painted white. And I would say to her, like, we were about 14, 15, Mum, we can all do it. I'll help you. We'll do it. Leave Dad. He's tired. And she would say, no, I know I could do it if I wanted to, but I will not do it. And I would think, but surely nagging Dad about it all the time, used to drive us crazy, didn't it? We would always hear her say, when are you going to paint the corridor? When are you going to... That's also something that I do not like. No, it was more like...
She should have just kept quiet about it.
Or given him gentle reminders.
I wait now. If I want something, I just be patient.
Yeah, I just be patient. Me too.
I've learned to be patient.
I have as well.
It's not, and a lot of the times
it's not fair, is it?
No, and I think if I get told to do something and I don't feel like it or I haven't got the energy, I would hate it.
No, I would hate it as well.
I just want to do it when I feel like it, when you have that bout of energy.
Sometimes.
I mean, the other day, my daughter Jessie, she was saying, Mum, we've got this beautiful garden. Why don't you just go out and just potter in it, like what the English ladies do? They just go and potter in their garden. So I thought, because
potter with a cup of tea.
Gardening, I put my full tracksuit on, gardening gloves, hats, everything, cap, mosquito repellent, and it's out there for 10 hours
gardening.
Like this massive garden we've got with massive weeds growing everywhere and God knows what. And so I said, let me just try this pottering thing. It did sound quite attractive.
It's lovely.
So
you started pottering around the garden.
So I went out fully dressed. I just come back from somewhere and I go pottering, and then if you'd seen me the next 5 minutes, I was on a call to her and I go, Jasmine, this is turned into massive deep gardening. I had a whole bucket of God knows.
You did not potter?
I couldn't potter because the garden just didn't allow for pottering.
Well, it's because your mind didn't allow for pottering. If you'd taken with you a cup of tea and just sat down and just enjoyed the
tea, but I couldn't because I started cutting the leaves and then the weeds, and I see these horrible.
I know. I can't.
The dog.
Oh, yeah, those
Forosaki things.
Yeah, those
like wheat. I don't know what they're called in English.
I don't know either. Yeah,
They're
but they
these
like get
little-
into the dog's skin.
Yeah, they're like little.
You
things.
probably know what we're talking about if you've got a pet, and you live in the countryside, because I don't know. This is,
So I saw them, so I said, why? Then in the end I said, I've got a massive wheelbarrow here of cut things. I cut a tree down. I pulled it.
You're joking.
In the end, I had this tree. I pulled it. I thought, oh dear. But anyway,
You enjoyed it, did you?
It was
Not
all
really,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was satisfying. But I thought, this isn't pottering.
No, it's definitely not pottering.
I'd gone out with the idea of just taking my secateurs and cutting a few roses.
Oh, right. Okay. With a little basket,
like
like in the films.
deadheading.
Like just going and collecting some roses. But it turned out slightly different.
It did, but it was still okay. I mean, I was a bit worried about my clothes.
And couldn't you say no and just like without guilt and ask your husband to help?
I couldn't
Ask
because
John.
he'd had an operation. So,
Oh, well, poor
so
thing.
he can't do it. That's why as well I had more gardening to do.
Yes.
But I did enjoy it. But I thought I was laughing because I thought this is not pottering.
No.
So maybe when you're doing your decluttering or whatever, sometimes if you can just, the idea of just doing a little small area is very nice.
Well, that's how we decided, like,
Yeah.
again, to talk about the garden, because we also have a large garden. We're in the countryside. So we also, in my mind, I thought I can't handle the whole thing. So I'll do one area. And when I told my husband that, he liked it as well. I said, because he'll do the same thing. Once he starts, he rarely ever does, but once he starts, he has to kill himself. Go out there. I said, no, let's try. Just do one thing today.
Get carried away, don't
Yeah, let's just do that garden bed, just cut that palm tree, those leaves, do one thing. I mean, he tends to get carried away.
That if you get carried away too much, and what happens is it
burns you out. Yeah.
It puts you off from doing it the next day or the other. You'll get exhausted and you won't do it. But I mean, I was kind of successful because I managed to do it in my clothes and they were fine. And
normal clothes.
It wasn't my normal.
Yeah.
It was a minimum amount of, it was okay. It wasn't too much. But I think next time I'll have to try and limit it a little bit more. But I have to focus on it because I'm just not used to it. I have to build a habit of this just pottering.
Yes, just pottering and learning just to look without.
I'm just saying, if I see that something's a slightly bigger job, I say I'll leave that for the day when I'm in my full gardening.
Yes. Select a date for it. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. That would be a good thing.
And this has all come from saying no without guilt.
I know.
And decluttering.
It's good. It's good to declutter, definitely, for your mind, for your stress. I mean, obviously, gardening makes you feel better. So that's excellent,
Yeah, because you're outside. Yeah.
I mean, like daily movement is so good, isn't it?
Yes.
If you can go for a nice walk.
That's why sometimes I go out in the garden. Like the other day, I didn't really, we went on that trip and then I came back and I thought, I'll just cut the grass now. My husband said, are you crazy? You're going to cut the grass? We've just come back from a big trip. And I said, do you want to cut the grass? No way in hell, he said, do I want to cut the grass? And then my son said, just go and put your pyjamas on, Mum. It's late. And then I thought it was sunny outside. I guess not really late. No. So I started cutting it and I actually felt quite good. And then it stopped working. So that's it. The lawnmower stopped working again. It was a spark plug. I think it's a spark plug.
That put an end to your work.
That put an end. Yeah, I was left a little bit like frustrated. I thought, no, I wanted to kind of finish it. Anyway. But the thing is that I wanted to move my body, So I do think moving your body every day.
That's scientifically been proven,
yes.
hasn't it? Movement helps you so much psychologically for stress relief and anxiety relief.
Yes.
Get out there and do it.
I think if you can move your body, whether it's just pottering around or whether it's actually doing a little workout, some kind of stretching, something where you're moving your body. And if you could perhaps move your body and take a walk outside or even a short walk, then that helps even further, I think.
Well, daily activity helps so much.
Yeah.
It really does, because it puts, I mean, you have to be kind of mindful. I mean, do you remember when we were growing up, we'd walk to school and that is so boring. We'd find it so boring, but it's
But you know what? On those walks to school, even though I didn't like them, my mind would get so creative. It would wander all the time. I would get bored because it was like a 20-minute walk there. Was it like 20 minutes? Maybe it seemed longer because...
No, it was quite a long walk.
It was quite a long walk.
It was over 20 minutes, I think. It's probably about 22 minutes or something.
Oh, wow. 3 minutes more. Okay. But in that walk, especially in the cold, you know, when you just... Because we were in London, yeah. It was chilly. And walking, I used to sort of invent all kind of stories in my head. I still remember them now, some of them.
We would invent that there was like those walkways, wouldn't we?
Magic
the ones
walkways.
The ones they have at the airport now.
Yeah.
The ones where you step on.
Yeah.
But we would wish that they would be on the road. So it would help us get there faster.
Exactly. I still remember that one. We would go, oh, like, this is magic. You just stand on it and it'll take us, whiz us straight to school really quickly and we won't have to worry about it. Or, lots of magical things we would sort of invent that have now turned into reality, actually.
Yeah.
So it's moving your body, and then, you know, we must never forget to actually breathe. And I know this sounds obvious, but breathing with intention is like different to just breathing. You know, you have to, you know, actual deep, slow breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system. And so it calms your body and mind instantly. So if you can try 4 to 7 or 8 deep breaths, you can slowly find that you become more relaxed.
Definitely.
And that can help, you know, if you're throughout your day, you can just take these deep breaths anywhere you are, really.
Yeah, just hold it in for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And breathe out for a few seconds.
Yeah, you do that quite a lot.
Take the longer ones. Yes, I do. I do take the longer ones. But you know, like even a sigh or a yawn, that's...
Yes. Oh, now I feel like yawning, yeah. Because actually it's not just when you're tired you yawn. No. You yawn also to relieve stress. Yeah. You actually see little pets do that sometimes. They're like yawning and you think, oh, they're tired. Yeah. They're also doing it to relieve stress. It's quite interesting, actually. I remember now you feel like yawning. Yawning is one of the super contagious things. You know, one person
yawns. We're not bored. We're just...
No. We're just relaxing now as we're talking about breathing.
Yeah, it does make you relax, doesn't it?
Definitely makes you relax. I think
if you're doing something quite stressful or you've got a meeting, you know, just take a few deep breaths before you go in.
Or just fake yawn. Yeah, you know, if you fake yawn, like when you go to the bathroom or something, obviously not in front of them. You know, you fake yawn, you'll instantly send your mind a message that, hey, things are okay, because you yawn before going to sleep. And when you go to sleep, it means that you're calm. Otherwise, you can't sleep. So it means you're not in any particular threat at that moment. So.
I always have a big yawn before I go to sleep, and I noticed it once.
Really?
Yeah, it was quite unusual. I noticed it once, and I thought, this is a yawn before I go to sleep. When I'm actually lying in bed, I have a yawn.
Oh gosh, you're making me yawn. I can't remember. I
notice it, and then every night I notice I actually do it. And when I
become conscious of it.
I become conscious. When I do it, I think, so I'm going to fall asleep soon. That's
really
nice.
That's a lovely cue, isn't it? That's like you've sent your mind a message. I'm going to do a big, deep yawn now, and then I'll fall asleep. It's like a kind of hypnotic, you know, command, as to say. You're commanding your mind to turn itself off by taking this lovely, deep yawn. You can try that.
Yeah, but not if you're driving or operating machinery.
No, before sleeping. Before sleeping.
Because we know a lot of people listen to this in the car and then...
Right, you know, don't do that before... No, that's right. We're careful of this.
We also think that, you know, it's so important as well for stress and anxiety to nourish yourself properly.
Yes.
So to feed yourself healthy stuff that's going to make you feel great.
Absolutely. You eat mindfully.
Yeah.
Because knowing that what you actually eat does affect your mood and energy. You know, if you can eat more whole foods, you can, you know,
get more fruit and veg.
Stay hydrated. Yeah. and you consciously eat. It's a bit like what we were saying about you consciously yawning.
Yeah.
Conscious eating is just simply becoming aware of what you're eating.
Yeah, so looking at your food.
Yeah, looking at your food, tasting it.
Your food, saying thank you for thank you for this.
If you're going to
gratitude.
If you're going to have a special,
grateful.
if you're going to have a treat, really make sure that you taste it. What did that taste like? Sometimes I see my husband, he'll just scoff his food, and I say, did you like that? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Be more conscious of it. And then when he did this diet once because his blood pressure went too high and he had to lose weight. Then he suddenly became really conscious of what he was eating. And that actually helped him. Now he's more conscious of it. Like if he has, I don't know, a peanut, whatever. I say, enjoy it. What are you laughing at? Peanut.
No, because it's
whole
true.
food.
A lot of us, we just eat without realising it. You're just putting things in your mouth. You might be watching TV on your phone.
Yes.
You're not actually
You're scrolling while you're eating.
Thinking, okay, this is nourishing me. I'm grateful for this food. Isn't it lovely to be able to have this nice meal or whatever? Or but just
you can just take that.
It.
Yeah, just taste it.
Take an opportunity to actually taste what you're eating.
And that's a whole, philosophy around conscious eating, is that we've stopped consciously eating nowadays. We eat while in some form of trance, and we're not actually enjoying it. Or even realizing, like what you were saying, the quantity or what we're doing with it,
We don't even know if we're full or if we're not full half the time, because we're eating so fast that we don't even think, I'm actually full.
Or we just eat
now.
because the time says it's time to eat. Are we really hungry? Yeah. Or have we just been programmed to say, I realise how much I'm programmed. Like if at 5 o'clock I'll suddenly go and say, I fancy a cup of tea. I want a cup of tea, because just been so programmed to think, I'll have a cup of tea, and I just randomly look, and of course it's 5 o'clock.
Of course.
It's like the English, the programming. It's 5 o'clock and it's tea time.
Yeah.
Come on, how programmed have I got?
Stressed, I always want tea. Yeah. Cup of tea.
Me too. It's because it's like
comfort thing.
It's also because it's something you have to drink a bit slowly. Yes, it's like
you have to take a moment, don't you?
You do, not only to prepare it, but also to drink it.
Also, I want a cup of tea now.
Yeah.
Also, prioritize your sleep. So go to sleep at a regular time.
Yeah,
create a cup at a time.
Try and create a bedtime ritual, like what Violetta was saying with the yawn.
Yeah, but turn off your devices.
Yes,
relax,
absolutely.
Read a book or just don't do anything. I know. Go and do some crochet or knitting.
Yeah, try and turn off the devices.
Watch something nice.
Yeah, something calming.
Calming.
Even if it is on the screen, but it's something that's going to calm you. Because I know it's easy to say turn off screens.
Don't binge something that you're going to want to stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, I've done that before. Bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore now.
Try and stay to a regular. No. Do you know what I've started doing? Even if I'm halfway through a film, I've started turning it off if I feel myself yawning or feel that I'm getting towards my bedtime.
Because there's no point watching it, is there?
I think I'll watch it tomorrow.
What is your bedtime now?
11.
11. Oh, that's more or less my bedtime as well now. Oh, surprise, surprise. No, but now I try say like 11. Yeah. And then it's because I get up at 6:30, so I think that's...
6:30.
Yeah, it's quite early, but I like to have the time before I have to leave the house.
Yes.
Because that's something else that, for me, it's a stress relief.
Yeah.
Knowing that,
and I have to be able to have breakfast.
Yes,
Yeah. Do my little rituals.
I want at least 30 minutes for breakfast. Yeah. At least. I mean, it sounds a lot, really, because I don't even eat that much, but just to be able to just sit down and I like to look outside when I have breakfast. So I'm lucky because I've got the kitchen door is a window. so I can see into the garden, and that I find that very relaxing. Even like now, my husband sits in front of me, so he blocks the view, so I'll move away, and I'm always thinking, is he going to notice that I'm just moving? He never does notice. No,
he's not.
He's like, no, he's not mindful the same way. He doesn't.
He's a different species.
He's a different one. He's a darling, but he's different. Yeah, he just doesn't realise it. But for me, that's like important to be able to look outside.
I think that's important. That's an important point to become
know
aware,
who you are.
know yourself, and know what relaxes you and what makes you feel good.
Yes.
So
really
and then go and
important.
do those things, and
yeah.
you know, find time to do those. You know, allocate time for them.
If you know that you are somebody that might, you know, you like breakfast and you want to be able to have the time, don't make it rushed. Yeah. Why are you making it hard on yourself? You know, begin to understand that, yeah, I do actually like to sit down and, you know, sip my coffee slowly, whatever you're drinking. Do it, you know, allocate that space and time for yourself, because that will, in the end, build up and, you know, help you so much. It starts your day well.
When the children were young, I used to get up an hour earlier on purpose,
exactly,
just to be able to have breakfast and organise everything calmly before they woke up.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
So just know yourself and know what you need, and then, you know, you might think, yeah, but I could have had an extra hour's sleep, but maybe try and go to bed earlier, or just, I don't know, organise yourself, because I think organisation and discipline in daily routines really does help if you're feeling anxious or stressed. You know, to have that
so
fundamental,
much.
You know, the daily habits, the routines that keep
so
you grounded.
Much. It can definitely help. Yeah, it's that grounding. It's like what you say, just simple little things, habits, discipline, that repeat themselves daily. Yeah, tidiness, putting your keys in one place, this in the other place, knowing where your things are can keep you calm as well. Because that can also create anxiety if you can't, you know, you're losing stuff. And also, you know, don't forget to talk it out, you know, share it
with each other.
Share it with a friend, a therapist,
because you'll
a journal.
find that everybody's the same in the end. They all feel the same, don't they?
They do. A lot of people are feeling exactly the way you are.
Yeah.
And so if you share, if you talk, if you discuss it, you know, sometimes it's surprising. You can just say, gosh, I'm just feeling, you know, nervous today.
The other day when I was feeling anxious, I felt as if I couldn't see properly. I mean, I wear glasses, but I felt the glasses weren't working.
You know,
and so I shared that with my daughter when I was on a call to her, and she said, Mum, I feel the same. When I get anxious or nervous, I can't see either. And I said, really? That's really
so
weird. And she goes, yeah, because you're feeling, you know, you're overwhelmed, you're feeling anxious. So just, you know, take a moment, calm down. And just the fact that she said that to me made me feel so much calmer. And I thought, okay. And then I went for a nice walk. And I did something for myself, and I felt a lot better.
And you found that your vision returned my perfectly.
Vision, it was fine.
It was the same as it was before, because it's not perfect, but it was the same as it was before.
It was fine. So what I'm saying is we work ourselves up into these states, but when we share it with other people and we share our problems, and we find other people have the same thing and it's okay.
Yes,
you know, you feel calmer, don't you?
You do feel calmer. And I think if you remember sort of like to practice gratitude, you know, that's another little habit, self-discipline. That's another one that's going to definitely help you throughout your day. Definitely. Just say, oh, well, I'm grateful I've got this, and I'm grateful for that. And, you know, there's so many things in the end that we are grateful for. That, I think, what you're looking at me.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we're grateful that the sun comes up tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know,
tomorrow's another day, and the sun will shine, or it won't shine, but it'll be there behind the clouds or whatever. Anyway, let us know what you think, and we'd love to hear from you. Come and give us a comment and a like on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and you can also text us at wherever you get your podcasts. You can send us a text there.
Yes, absolutely.
Directly under your podcast.
We'll be very happy to answer you.
Yeah, we'll be very happy to hear from you. Lots of love and
smiles from the English sisters. Bye
for now.